Alright guys, Thursday morning, I'm going to take all that stuff out of the clamps that we glued up yesterday, and then I'm going to start milling some lumber, getting stuff ready to be used. Let's do it. Oh, before I do that though, I want to say thank you to the people who've purchased some of the merchandise that you can find down below this video. That means a lot. I really appreciate it, and you guys are very awesome. If you're into like t-shirts and coffee mugs and stuff, check it out. There's some cool stuff. All right, let's work some wood. Okay, so I went ahead and got all the pieces sort of trimmed up at the bandsaw. These are for the pedestal of the table. And my joiner is a 12-inch joiner. I cut these about 11.5 inches wide. I don't want to go any smaller than that because that's going to be the widest point of the pedestal. Start face joining. Decision time, guys. I've never done this before. I've never built a table like this. It's gonna be a pedestal table, right? I've done pedestal tables, but not with a single column on each end. I've done like X-type things and like other stuff, but I've never glued up a huge plank of wood and then cut like, you know, a pedestal out of it. My dilemma is, these are oversized right now. They're too long. Do I cut them to final length now, before they're glued up, and then glue them up and try to keep everything as flush as I possibly can? Or do I glue them up the way they are and try to use my bandsaw, which I'm not... I don't trust it. Or cut it with a handsaw and then, you know, hand plane it. Or do I glue it up, cut the profile out, and only have a smaller section, because it's only going to be 6 inches at the top and the bottom, to flush up? I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these to very close to their final length. Cut the profile out and stuff on No, I can't do that because I won't have reference surfaces. I won't have a reference surface. I won't know what is square and flat relative to each end. I'm cutting them to final length. That's what I'm doing. I'm cutting them to final length. I'm going to glue them up. I'll use cauls or something to make sure everything's nice and flush. If I have a little bit of trim to do, I'll do it with hand planes. That's how I'm doing it. Problem solving, guys. Problem solving. Alright, that's how I'm doing it. Let's do it! Alright, so I just realized I can't do that because my edges aren't jointed and I don't have enough saw blade to cut through the piece in one pass. So, it's back to the jointer. Alright guys, so what I decided to do with those blanks was I used the miter gauge that came with my table saw. I don't think I've ever used that thing. To give me a reference surface, right? So with the miter gauge I could cut all the way through the 2+ inches worth of stock, and then I could, but by doing that I had a reference surface and I could use that against the stop on my Incra sled and, you know, flip it and cut part way through, flip it again, all that stuff. That's what I decided to do. I'm going to try to glue these things together as accurately as I possibly can as far as the length is concerned, and go from there. Let's start gluing these things together. Well, in moving that pedestal blank, my pants became a little more of a casualty than they have been before. Not bad. Let me show you. You see that? Whoop. I've had worse. I've had worse. Alright guys, I'm going to call it there. It's getting kind of late. And I'm tired. So We'll work on the legs for the cabinet on stand tomorrow. Probably most of tomorrow will be cabinet on stand stuff. I got to do the tapered legs and then the aprons and all that stuff. Shouldn't actually take too long. Famous last words, right? Yeah, alright. See you tomorrow.